Welcome, everybody. I'm going to go backwards through the slides. Welcome to Friday Night Comics. You are oops, oh my gosh, there it is. You are at the Sequential Artists Workshop. I'll tell you more about that in a second. The We Believe in Comics series of free Friday night workshops. Um, and I want to thank you, whatever time zone you're in, if it's Friday, if it's Saturday, if it's night or not night, thanks for being here. We're a nonprofit school. We have online courses. You can find them at sawcomics.org. We have a big graphic novel development program starting up in June. You can find out more information again at sawcomics.org. Next week, Ellen Chan is here in this slot, and we're not sure what Elle is going to do, but you can find out by being here next week. We have a course starting in July called Visual Journaling with Maureen Burdock. It's going to be 2 sessions. You can sign up for 1 or 2 or both, or one or the other or both. So check out that. And also Yasmin Abedifard is going to be doing something in July. We don't have a slide for that yet. Thanks to everybody who donated either to tonight's workshop or any other time. We really appreciate it. It helps keep the doors open. It helps us keep these workshops free, and it helps us pay the instructors. And it matters. So thank you so much. So yeah, we'll get started. No inappropriate speech or imagery, please, in the sharing section. Let's keep it PG-13. That's good for everybody. Please share on social media, though. There's lots of options, and I'll put this in the chat, but you can do hashtag Friday Night Comics. You can tag us at Comics Workshop. I'll put Ashanti's in the chat, but it's real simple. It's at Ashanti Fortson. And you can come join us at members.sawcomics.org as well. And Little Orphan Annie says, let's watch the time and keep it to the 8:30, or that's Eastern time, so 90 minutes. And we really appreciate that. But there are lots of other ways to share if it feels like we're reaching the end and you haven't had a chance to share. You can do it on our community or in our PDFs, which we do every week from these workshops. We have a little Dropbox link and you can upload what you did. I usually upload, it's super fun. And then we make a little PDF that goes on our Seesaw Comics website. And here's just like what that might look like. It's super fun. So, oh yeah, they over in our Wednesday night studios, they wanted me to tell you to come join them at the Wednesday Starlight Studios. Those are 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, and they just sort of get together and draw. You have to join the network. It's free to find out about that. So enjoy. Ashanti Fortson is here with Rebellious Joy, and you were here a year or two ago with Envisioning Energy. I love that Joy here is represented by this little tiny sprout, and I've got those in my garden right now, and I'm really excited. I have to figure out how to stop sharing.
Mm.
Ashanti, welcome. Thank you for being here again, and tell us and guide us through this. Tell us what a rebellious joy is.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Tom and SAW, for having me here. I am so excited to be leading this workshop of
Hi.
Rebellious Joy with all of you. Um, a quick intro. My name is Ashanti Fortson. I am a cartoonist and illustrator with a wide variety of interests, but color is usually pretty important to what I make. I'm working on a graphic novel called Crescent Petra from HarperCollins at some point when it's out. I've done a lot of uh, different anthology comics, solo comics, and I love doing workshops. So I am here with you, and we're going to jump in to the workshop intro. My plan for today is that we're going to be tackling a kind of a very simple, no scissors, no cutting, expanding zine. It's optional. I will be guiding us through the folding of it, but if you find that the zine format is not working for you, that's okay. It is totally optional. And the prompts for the kind of the guided drawing portion will be, independent of the zine format. It's kind of meant to go with it, but if you don't want to do the expanding zine, that's okay. In terms of materials, you just need some paper and something to put on the paper. That can be pen, pencils, markers, colored pencils. It could be stickers. It could be washi tape. It could be anything you want that leaves some sort of mark on the paper. But it's going to be a kind of, I have a little mock-up right here. I'll just show you guys. It's going to be this size. So it's not going to be a one-page zine in the traditional kind of multi-fold and then cut in the middle format that if you're familiar with one-page zines you might have seen before. This one kind of starts like this, uh, opens
Oh,
into 1, 2, and then you fold it down or you fold it up depending on how you want to orient it. 3, 4, and then there's the reveal, the kind of the full page reveal, which we'll be utilizing for those of us who are going to be doing the expanding zine format. There's that reveal kind of at the end. Letter paper does work for this perfectly fine. So let's get started on the folding. I have the camera on
I'll
my
spotlight that.
paper.
Should I do that?
Yeah, let's flip on
Great.
over here.
Got it.
So I have my camera with my letter size paper right here. I'm going to take one sheet. I'll remove the rest of them so you guys can see the one sheet better. And you don't need a bone folder or anything for this process. You can just use your hands. I'll start by flipping it horizontally like this. Julia, that is such a good question. This format would be pretty tough to use for a graphic novel, but that's such an interesting idea that I might have to think about that further.
An
This is
artistic challenge.
Yeah, this is a really good format for small pieces, which is kind of what we'll be tackling. But the sky's the limit with zines and zine formatting. Um, as the instructions in the chat say, we're going to fold it in half, kind of longwise here. Um, and then we're gonna unfold it, gonna rotate it so that it's kind of longways like this, and we're gonna do a trifold. Um, it doesn't have to be perfect. I have trouble getting it perfectly 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. We're gonna do our best. Um, the way that I kind of try to approximate a trifold is without pressing it down here just yet, but kind of folding it over. I'll see what length of fold lets it line up. Um, so let's this edge of the paper line up with the bottom layer of the paper, which is going to be folded down. Um, it's an approximation. It does not have to be perfect. You'll see right now that mine is going to be a little bit, yeah, you can see right now mine overlaps a little bit, and that's okay. I'm just going to fold up and down like this. And then we're going to unfold it again. So you'll see that we have kind of like 6 panels, 6 little not quarters, but little spots on each side of the paper. What we're gonna do is gonna fold it back so it's like this. Just kind of turn it into a pamphlet,
Okay,
and
so
then
fold it. Now we fold it so it's vertical.
it's
Yeah.
vertical. Just kind of like tuck the pages in, the pamphlet pages in, like this, and then you fold it along that bent edge, and then you have a little booklet. Um,
So
I,
wait, so we had a tower or a brochure, and then we fold that into thirds from our old creases, right?
yep, you're not creating any new folds. You're just
Right.
following the pieces that you had made before. So I'll open it up again. This is the full page, and I've just accentuated some of the creases in this process, but I fold the trifold in, fold the trifold in, and then fold the bifold in.
Okay. So fold the trifold, trifold, bifold. Okay, I'm
Yes,
gonna write that down because I did it wrong actually. So
no worries.
open up, fold the
I'll do that one more
trifold
time here.
once, then trifold again, and then
Trifold, bifold.
um, okay, I put that in the chat. Hopefully I got that right. There.
There are no wrong folds, only bold folds. I agree. Thank you. Thank you, comment, Chris. Um, I'm also going to I've written some some words on this dummy that I made before. I'm actually not going to follow what it says on the dummy because I realized that I'd like a different orientation a little bit better. But I'm going to put in Sharpie as we go on this dummy. What is the cover? What is kind of panel one? What is panel two? That sort of thing. Um, so
Okay.
that we can kind of see as we're going. This is going to be cover, and that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at right now is the cover. I'll be opening it up and kind of guiding everybody through that. We're going to skip the cover for now, and I'll tell you why.
Mm.
We want to focus on panels 1 through 5, which are the pages of this little zine, before we touch on the cover. Usually when I'm doing a zine, the cover is the last thing I do because I want the cover to either pull from what I'm drawing inside or in some ways kind of accentuate or accompany it. And um, that means that because we're kind of going through this and determining what we're drawing one panel at a time, we'll come back to the cover. Linda, the fold is to the left, yes. So this is on the left here is the back cover, and on the right is the front cover. Good question. For the first panel, which I will kind of follow along here, we're going to flip from cover. We're
Mhm.
going to flip. And I'm going to put in big numbers 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I'm going to flip this one too.
And yours is opening, your trifold opens up after one and two. So I just want
Yes,
to
it
make
opens
sure
up
that,
after 1 and 2.
okay, I'm just making sure that, oh, wait. Uh,
Oh, see, it's a little bit different, but that's okay.
oh, okay,
This,
good. Because mine is a
that,
little different, but
no, that's totally okay.
okay,
And it's
ready.
also okay if yours folds down. That is up to total personal preference, whatever your folds are that you've made, that's totally okay. It's going to
Okay,
fold either up or down, up to you. Mine does fold up, but you'll see that it folds up in slightly different ways between the two dummies. That's also okay.
good.
Um, we're going to start on panel 1 here to the left. And because this workshop's topic is rebellious joy, I have a couple of different questions that you all can use to guide your choices in what you want to draw for your panels. Um, these are starting points, and I'm going to offer some examples of potential directions you can go, but the world is your oyster. Whatever you want to put in these panels is, absolutely fair. Uh, Bill, yes, I had a dummy beforehand, so
Mhm.
I'm just using this dummy up top to show us where we are in the process. So we folded the zine and then opened it up to panels 1 and 2.
It's like a cooking show where you put the roast in, but a roast is already ready.
The roast is already ready.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, for the first panel, the question is, what is your go-to method of joyful rebellion and self-expression? Um, so for example, there's so many options for that. It could be art, music, dancing, fashion, gardening, activism, zine making. It could be cooking. It could be checking in with your neighbors, whatever it is for you. Um, we're going to put that in panel 1. It's okay if you want to just draw an image of this. It's okay if you want to combine images with words. It's okay if you want to, for any given panel, just have words. It's up to you. Anything is fair game.
Um,
Playing string
and the,
wrestling with my cat. Love it.
and the question is what is your go-to for, say it again?
For joyful rebellion and self-expression.
Oh, okay. I'm putting that in the chat.
Thank you, Tom.
Sure.
Um, so for me, that's art. That's comics. Um, and so it's always funny as a cartoonist to kind of draw myself or draw images of comics making because it's like looking at a an infinite screen where if you're kind of streaming your own screen or sharing your own screen, but it's the kind of window within a window within a window. I feel sometimes that is the case with uh
Mm.
drawing myself cartooning. So I'll just draw my little cardigan. Try to not cover the camera here either.
Yeah. And again, you can use words or pictures or only one or the other or both.
Absolutely. The prompt for the first panel. Okay, Tom's got it. Thank you, Tom.
Mhm.
Yep, and it can be absolutely anything. Um, it doesn't even have to be creative. Whatever your outlet is, your go-to is, that absolutely counts.
Like it could be running or snowboarding or chess or
Completely. Those are all really good ones. In cartooning myself, like to exaggerate how big my glasses are. Like they are pretty big, but uh, it's fun to draw myself as kind of a bug.
Awesome. It's great to have a fun avatar of yourself. I feel like that's a really great one.
Yeah. And let's see, we'll give this one, um, I'd say a couple more minutes. Um, for any of these, it's also okay to kind of do a a sketch or a draft. It doesn't have to be a perfect finished drawing. Because this is a multi-panel, technically multi-page zine, it's okay if you don't if you don't get it to like 100% satisfaction completion, where whatever you consider that to be. It's also okay if it's kind of loose and sketchy or simple. Um, this is a format that hopefully you guys will want to explore in the future. If any of you, enjoy zine making, this is a pretty cool zine format. I'll finish up this little drawing right here, and I'm going to accompany it with some words as well. Seems like there's a bit of an echo.
I'm not hearing an echo at all. I think it might be fine. I'll check in with Nikki.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Um, so for this, I'm going to write a little bit about kind of my experience using comics as Joyful Rebellion, but I'm gonna hold off um on getting too far into it because the next panel is gonna dig a little deeper. So
All right. I always make comics in an attempt to communicate and to share my thoughts and feelings. Cool.
yeah, so that is where I'm gonna leave my first panel. Um, and it might not sound here like it's much of a rebellion, but I'll get into that one. But I'll add some more comic pages to the side here.
You're adding some, oh, more comics pages. Oh, nice.
More comics pages just to fill out the composition a little bit. How are we doing?
Great. I like how all your other pages have wacky page structures.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with layout in some of my personal projects, and I think it's my favorite part of comics making. Um, Nikki, I see your question. I'll go ahead and demonstrate the dummy that I have up here while folks are finishing up panel one. Um, we have let me unfold it actually. No worries, no worries. Um, so I'm going to label the 3 and the 4 in a moment when we get to them, but it's a letter paper that we've folded bifold, trifold, and then you fold the trifolds in and then the bifold. So that's where we are. We can go ahead and put the question for number 2, panel number 2 out there, and um, we can get started on that. So panel 2 right here is, what does it make you feel? So your go-to method of joyful rebellion and self-expression that you've outlined in panel 1, what does it make you feel? For example, hopeful, free, empowered, energized, unburdened, understood, in community, etc. Um, if that's something that you want to solely illustrate, again, combine with words and pictures or just words, whatever you want to do. Here,
Okay.
I'm going to expand a little bit on what I've written in panel 1, because panel 1 is just kind of like, I make comics, they're so that I can communicate and share my thoughts and feelings, but what do they make you feel? That's what we're going to get into.
Okay.
Whatever that feeling is for you.
And that again could be words or pictures or both. All right.
Absolutely. I think for this panel, panel 2, I'm going to start with words. I started with the image in panel 1, but for me in this instance, I feel like I want the words to come first. Um, so I'll go ahead and start with that process and then illustrate whatever um whatever feels like it needs to be on the page.
Okay.
My thoughts and feelings often challenge the status quo. That's what I'm gonna write here. But putting them into pictures makes it easier to express them. Hopefully my handwriting is legible. Whenever I hand letter comics, that's always something that I run into where I default sometimes to just writing by hand instead of hand lettering. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got my little thought bubbles here. Gonna connect them to my head at the bottom when I draw. Paula, good question. That is a really good question. What's the difference between writing by hand versus hand lettering? So for me, what I consider the difference between those two things is writing by hand would just be kind of like how you're filling out forms, maybe how you're writing a letter by hand on paper, um, notes to yourself, that kind of thing. Whether or not it's meant for someone else to read, it's kind of your natural handwriting. Um, Hand lettering, I actually consider to be a form of illustration where you're trying to communicate something through the way that the lettering looks, not just through what the letters say. Um, so I think a good example that many people are probably familiar with is like illuminated manuscripts have the big fancy letters with like pictures inside, and maybe they have tons of ornamentation because they're meant to communicate a sense of importance, or maybe a scene or a narrative. That is like hand lettering. Um, but it can also be just kind of more careful, intentional writing by hand that is meant to be part of an image. So this two, for example, is like just written by hand. It's just my handwriting of a two. But if I were to do, kind of a more careful, intentional two, um, something like that, um, maybe give it a little bit of a shadow. It's a little bit sloppy, but that's kind of what I mean, where you're putting a different kind of intention into it. Exactly. Writing as part of the piece is exactly it.
Mhm.
The thing about rebellion is that it can come in so many different ways and um so many different forms of expression. Um, and I think rebellion, kind of thinking about the topic of this workshop is sometimes a very kind of loaded or evocative term of like, rah, rebellion. But it's really about kind of breaking free of the constraints in our lives,
Mm,
whether that's in kind of society or in our lives very personally, and finding ways to um, chase our dreams. Again, either personally, in community, in society, whatever that might be. And that's kind of the thinking behind Joyful Rebellion is um, what are the ways that we chase our dreams? And
mm,
how does that improve us as people, as communities, as societies, and how does that make us happier and healthier? I think,
mm,
all the different outlets that we have as people are really important, and all the different ways that we get to express what's important to us.
mm.
Here, I've got my little ideas, questions, and comments in thought bubbles, but I've got my little self holding out this um, comic page. Let my art do the talking for me.
What a great little self.
Thank you. Um, from there, we'll go ahead and go on to panel 3. And it's okay if some panels take longer for you, or some panels take a shorter amount of time, or if you want to come back to them later, that's totally okay. Um, we're gonna fold open. So I've got my 1, 2 here. I've got my 1, 2 here, and I'm gonna fold up or down if that's what's going on for you.
Uh-huh.
And we have 3 and 4 here that I'm going to label with marker so that you all can see.
So, okay, so it's whatever is the sort of top sheet, right?
That's
The,
right.
the higher sheet in the fold, because mine opens on the bottom, yours opens on the top, but I should take the one that will eventually fold out.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
whatever is still contains kind of a fold within it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I
Like
think so.
it could be if yours is oriented like this, for example,
Right.
where you're folding down, it's these two at the bottom
That's
because you can
mine. Yep.
still, yep, you'll still be able to fold out and the reveal will be underneath. So we've got 3 and 4, and then underneath here will be the reveal, kind of the reveal page, the splash page, so to speak. But for now, we're on 3 and 4,
Okay.
and the question for 3 is, um, uh, sorry, I'm reading the chat. I will get to those questions in just a moment. The question for 3 is, what obstacles do you face? So in this go-to method, activity, outlet, what obstacles do you face? It can be external, it can be internal. For example, not enough time, not enough energy, not enough resources or money, fear, uh, mental blocks. Um, it could be illness. It could be censorship. It could be um, pressure or stigma. Whatever it is for you, again, external or internal, we're going to put in panel 3. Um, and Walter, the other 2 squares, so what we're going to do is um, because we have 1 and 2 fold, well, unfold, 3 and 4, and then this entire page right here, the kind of the back page, this is going to be panel 5. It's going to be kind of a big drawing. However much you want to take up of this page will be panel 5.
Mm.
Um, it could be that these two at the bottom you put less. Um, but right now we're just going to focus on 3 and 4. The lower paper here is where I'm going to be doing my drawing. So I'll go ahead and um, get started on panel 3. Correct, Walter. It might show above or below 3 and 4 depending on your fold. Correct. Um, so for number 3, again, it's about obstacles. So for me, um, I'm going to focus on kind of the biggest ones because there are a lot of obstacles we all face. Um, and in making art and making comics as Rebellious Joy, um, I find that the biggest challenges for me are kind of um, balancing the professional and kind of the industry, the work component, the job component, and the me, the creative side, the kind of creative fulfillment of making work that is important to me and that speaks to the things that I wanted to speak to. Um, so that's kind of an abstract idea. Um, but what it really is a balancing act. So that's the imagery that I'm going to be putting
Mm.
on this panel is the sense of balancing. Because what the obstacle is when it's unbalanced, it creates a problem for me. So we're going to start with kind of a scales, a balancing scales situation. Um, I was actually looking up a lot of balancing scales imagery recently for a freelance job. Um, I didn't end up going with the scales imagery for that, but it came in handy to look at all that reference for scales for this. I think with any kind of creative pursuit, um, and I can only speak to kind of that component of it, the creative component. Um, but I think it is very common to um, have difficulty balancing the personal and the professional, or like the work and the life. And that's really a universal problem, the work-life balance, mythical work-life balance. But um, I think it's really important for, everyone who has an outlet, who works creatively or um, self-expresses in some way to, have that be really for yourself as much as possible. Um, there's a lot of difficulty that comes, with uh, overextending your passions when it comes to like doing it for other people or doing it for money or doing it for your career. And um, I think it's really special to be able to, keep a slice of the cake for yourself, so to speak.
Mm.
Here I'm gonna do a little bit of that hand lettering too, because I think it's pretty tough to communicate like work and joy in visuals. So I'm actually gonna uh yeah, do a little bit of hand lettering to just put the words in there.
Oh, cool.
Work and joy. And I think I'll also put a little bit of text at the bottom to describe my feelings in a little bit more detail. So, um, kind of touching on what I've said about, being a professional artist and balancing the self and the self and the other, the work and the joy.
Mm. Love your bubble letters. It's like Schoolhouse Rocks.
Thank you. So happy to hear that, Paula. You're used to doing watercolor. Yeah. It's definitely interesting, incorporating kind of the text into image as image, where the text is also this kind of component of the cartoon.
How much time do you have on your graphic novel, Ashanti? Like before you have to hand it in, I mean.
That's a great question. No, I do know the answer. Uh, it's the graphic novel is something that my editor has been very understanding about with regards to timeline. So we kind of when we pitched it, because I have chronic health issues and have had them for a long time, we were very straightforward about, the book might take longer
Hmm.
uh, than a lot of books take. And that's part of the part of the parcel we're offering with this pitch. And my editor has been, amazing about supporting me, about giving me that space and that time that I need to take care of my health and work on my graphic novel at the same time. So, I'm hoping that the pencils will all be done in the next month or two, fingers crossed.
Hmm.
Um, and then I would love to have the final art sometime this year. But
Hmm.
um, because my health is finally in a better place, so I'm able to kind of lock in a little bit more. But it's a long process. Books take a long time.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we can move on to the fourth panel here. Um, so the prompt for panel four, um, which is just in whatever orientation your zine is unfolding, it's going to be the one opposite panel three. Um, Number four is, what is your rebellious, joyful dream? It can be for you or it can be for others, just a dream that you have. Um, and it doesn't even have to be realistic, whatever that means. It can be something, whatever you have in your heart out of that rebellious, joyful spirit.
Okay. I'm putting all these things in the chat. Doesn't even have to be realistic, whatever that
Yeah.
means.
Whatever sparks that sense of like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to fight for that. I want to do that. I want that to be real. I want that to be
Mhm.
something that is born out of, this whatever method of self-expression and rebellion that is yours, that is your go-to. Um, this is what I envision. This is what I dream about. Um, I'm not including any specific examples in this one because it's so personal. Like there's such a range
Mm.
of what could possibly be the case here. So I'll talk a little bit about mine. What I dream about is for my art, um, very broadly, my comics, my illustration, my work, um, to be something that inspires other people to pursue their happiness, their joy, their rebellion, um, their dreams. So, hoping that through the work that I make, I can help other people listen to that voice within themselves. And I think a good imagery for that might be, like a megaphone or something. So draw, I'm gonna draw me drawing comic pages into a megaphone. We'll see how that turns out.
Very cool.
No worries, Jamie. Panel 3 was what obstacles do you face in in your go-to method of joyful rebellion? I think the thing that's really fun about zines is that, the drawings really don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be good. It's just a method of self-expression, like we're talking about in this very zine. Um, some of my drawings here are definitely wonky, and that's totally okay. Um, Sometimes zines are really great for just being kind of um, quick and dirty, so to speak, little projects where you're just getting your thoughts out there, you're getting your feelings out there. Um, and it doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be like even 100%, all the drawings done. Um, some zines are really nice to have kind of as art objects, as kind of more polished or more drafted, more iterations of the work leading into a more finished piece. But I think there's something really special about the zine um as a sketch of a thought. And I'm really excited to see what all of y'all are doing um when we get to that. So with my little drawing here, I'm gonna add some more little action lines there. My dream, my dream is for my comics. Is for my comics to help other people find their voices. All right. How's it going for everybody?
Good for me. Look at that drawing. Can you can you put that a tiny bit closer to the camera? Because it's such a funny drawing of the
Got it.
comic in the megaphone. Look at that. Oh, look at that. How funny. And never thought of that concept ever. All right.
Yeah. Once we've got panel 4 done, I'm going to go ahead and give the prompt for panel 5, which is the reveal
All
here.
right.
So um, once you have 3 and 4, and again, this might not be the exact orientation of your 3 and 4. It might be
Mhm.
kind of reversed with 3 on the left and 4 on the right. That's okay. Um, the fifth panel has the same, it's going to be the same placement no matter what. So for panel 5, you're going to unfold whatever direction your fold unfolds. This full page is going to be your panel 5. You don't have to fill the entire page. Um, the extent to which you want to fill this page is up to you, but we're kind of thinking about it as, 3, 4, and then reveal where my hand is, reveal, because you're kind of unfolding this moment and showing what's underneath. Um, so I'm gonna put 5 in Sharpie here. So this is 5.
Okay.
If you want to use these bottom 2 squares where it says cover, on the reverse side, and then this blank square, you're totally welcome to do that. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you could kind of lead in to the image using the bottom 2 squares if you want to. So I'll kind of leave this like that, and then I'll unfold um, mine as well. And what we're going to put in panel 5 is what or who do you rebel for? Um, so, that could be your kids, that could be you right now, that could be um that could be your younger self, your child self, your adolescent self, your young adult self, at any point in your life. It could be your community, it could be your family, um, your partner, your friends, society, the world, the planet, whatever that answer means to you, whatever the answer is for you. Um, Tap into that sense of like, where does that self-expression, that joyful rebellion come from for you? Um, and no worries if the exact kind of numeration of the zine isn't what it isn't for you what it is in the process I've shown here. That's okay. It's still about the process of drawing these drawings and seeing what feelings are here. Um, so I am going to use this page here to answer this question for myself. And I think, it's kind of a deep question, a little bit of like, oh man, I didn't even being the one who wrote it, I have not fully answered it for myself.
Hmm.
Um, because I
Interesting.
think it's a shifting thing, right? Like maybe not for everyone, but for me it's very shifting where sometimes it's for other people. And certainly my dream that I drew in panel 4 here is for my comics to help other people find their voices. But um, that rebellion is as much as for other people as it is sometimes for me, and sometimes for, society at large, or sometimes for the people I know. Um, so it's kind of a tough thing sometimes to capture, but I'm gonna do my best. And I think, well, we'll see where the drawing takes me, you know? I'm gonna start with this little portrait of me, but I think I'm also going to include, some of the other notions that I brought up, the child self is here too. I didn't have the same glasses back then as I do now, but I'm gonna draw them anyway. Holding some comics as well. There was a comment earlier in the chat about finding hands difficult to draw. Um,
Oh.
and I just want to say, however you draw hands, you know, it doesn't always have to be realistic. And I think that's one of the really fun things about comics and cartoons is that stylization is a really fun component of how you choose to approach it. And that can be, it can be circle hands, it can be three-finger hands, like someone mentions in chat just now, four-finger hands, and they're just kind of like nubby. Like these right here are pretty nubby.
Huh.
Um, and that's okay. It's also okay to change up how you're drawing things from panel to panel, from project to project. Um, sometimes sometimes I draw hands really, really well, and sometimes I really, really don't. And that's okay. And I think it's interesting um to vary the way that you're stylizing things too sometimes because that's how real life is. Um,
Mhm.
some people have piano fingers and some people don't. I don't. Some people have you know, really small noses. Some people have really wide noses, and I think that one of my favorite parts of cartooning is just getting to um, explore all of that when I draw people specifically. So we've got me and then my child self, but kind of looks a little bit more like a Muppet self. That's okay. Um, and gonna draw my spouse in there too. And I'm gonna draw, let's see, who else I want to draw? So I'm leaning towards this answer for me being about community. Um, any pets? That's a great idea. I'm gonna draw my cat in here because her name is Miss Cheese. Um, yeah, full name is Cheese. Um, and she's a calico and she's very opinionated. I'm gonna draw some of my friends, some of my family. Dog's nickname is Cheese. Great minds think alike. All right, so I think this is the kind of drawing where I could really fill up the whole page with people. And I'm not going to do that right now in the interest of time, but um, this is something that I could definitely, keep adding to, keep adding more members of my community, members of my family, friends, loved ones, more pets. I could see myself adding, my garden, my home garden here. Um, imagined readers of my work, that sort of thing. Um, so I don't think that, whatever needs to be drawn here, whatever is drawn here needs to be finished 100% right now. I certainly will be coming back to this and continuing it and adding to it. But the idea, being that, this zine kind of takes us on a journey of, um, I make comics in an attempt to communicate. Um, this is my method of self-expression. And then these are my feelings on my self-expression and kind of digging a little deeper into the challenges and the dreams, and then the reason behind it all being the reveal inside the zine. And I'm really, really curious to know to know what all of you have put in your zines. Um, since we're at the 8 o'clock mark, Tom, is there any way for us to start the sharing process?
Yeah, Ashanti, I'll start with you by asking you to raise your Zoom hand like I just raised mine, if you can find it. And that'll keep us up high in the grid. But the crazy thing is Zoom AI will be convinced that it should lower it for you. So sort of be on the lookout for that, but it's really hard to catch, to be honest. It'll give you a little pop-up window saying, looks like you're done talking. I'm going to lower your hand and you have to hit cancel. But you don't, there's not enough time. I had a lot of fun with this, Ashanti. I'm not going to show mine unless there's a gap in the sharing. I'm definitely going to load it to the PDF Dropbox link, which I just shared in the chat for y'all. So there's lots of places to share. I had a lot of fun, especially on this last panel. I didn't think I would. But so, oh, it just lowered my hand. It's not supposed to do that. I'm the host. Um, so I will remove Spotlight and we'll start with Alan and then Matt and Lauren. And we have some other people who want to share. So yeah, let's take a look. Let me oh, I have to hit cancel. Good. I should be good for now. I need to let me ask Alan to unmute. I will replace the Spotlight and I'm going to let Alan share screen. So it's going to take me a
I
second to
just
do that.
realized I forgot how to fold it again.
Oh,
Oh,
you
there we
did it
go.
on paper. All right.
Yeah, I did on paper because with all the folding and things like that, I know I normally do mine on the computer. And I'm actually out of practice doing it on paper, so it looks super sketchy. Well, plus I was kind of honestly trying to multitask during the middle and got kind of stuck, so some of
We're
the
okay with
panels
that.
are a little rushed, but here we go. Here's what I came up with anyway. So I like to build worlds through comics, writing, etc. It makes me feel productive, fulfilled. I don't know. I just know I don't feel right when I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
Panel three. Um, but it's but I have so much else to do, it's often hard to find time. I can't be everywhere at once. I sorry, I'm trying to read it because of course to me it looks backward. I know it looks forward to everyone else, but I would like to share the worlds I created with the with the world. Okay, with the world, and yeah. Oh, make them available for others to use. Um, and set an example for other people to create their yeah, to create their own world, their own weird and original worlds, and to feel they have to and not feel they have to copy common templates. So this may be kind of ambitious, even arrogant, but I like to think maybe I can have an impact on the whole genre of speculative fiction, on the imagination of the world, that maybe I'm doing my part to make the world a little more interesting and full of ideas. So there, I don't know. So that's what I ended up with anyway. So
I love that. I love that so much, Alan. That is amazing.
I love it too. And I hope you'll upload that so we can see that a little
it's kind
or
of hard
share
to
somewhere.
upload with this format, I guess.
I
Just
know, I know. You'll have to figure it out. You'll have to be on the vanguard of that. But I love the idea of affecting the world of speculative fiction in that way. Thanks, Alan. We'll go to Matt next.
Yeah, thank you, Alan.
Well, I absolutely loved this exercise. Thank you so very much. And even just, I was reflecting on. I'm a part of the year-long program, and much of this that we've talked about is something that I've experienced personally. So I loved this. So first was what brings you joy. It was making comics, and just learning how to do that. This whole year has just been an absolute blast for me. And what did I experience? That freedom to create, play, to enjoy, to explore. Just it's been an absolute just wonderful journey. So then what was the next thing? What blocks me from this? My brain. So you mentioned internally. So fear, stigma, judgment of others. I've had people say, "You're doing what? You're making comics? That doesn't sound very professional. That sounds like something a kid would do." And I'm learning to love those comments actually, as they bring those. At first, it was kind of something that I feared, but I'm actually loving it. And one person goes, "Oh, this is cute, I guess." She looked at one of my pieces of art. So I'm like, "Oh, cute. Thank you. You're just a wonderful human being." And so what is my rebellion, joy, or dream? Just to draw cartoons and to be a cartoonist. So I've so enjoyed this. And then my big thing, I did this on a big 11 by 17 piece of paper. So what do I rebel for? And even before you said it, I thought, wow, my younger self. So there's me, and there's me, just in the sense of my younger self, in the sense of honoring those dreams of a little boy, of doing those things and engaging in those things. So, yeah, wonderful exercise. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Matt. That what a wonderful I love the big words freedom. I love that so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. We'll go to Larned next.
Okay, first panel, kind of what do I like to do? Well, I kind of like to do video gaming, enjoy it. So that's what I did for that. And then in the next panel is what feeling do you get? I get that feeling of power when I'm playing and I win. So we'll go on to the next. I can do this. And what kind of problems or things happen that what would goof that up is the no internet service. Yay, can't play a game without internet service. And then what do I dream about? An Xbox AI that plays the game for you. I don't even have to play the game. It does it for me. I can just watch. And then my big reveal at the end was jumping up and down on the Xbox and smashing it to pieces. Fun.
Love it. I love the sense of humor throughout. as
Yeah,
a fellow
definitely.
gamer.
Love that last panel. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank
We'll go to Chris now.
Thanks. Mine's going to be very similar to Matt Hoffman's. The cover, Joyful Rebellion. My joy is just, and being in my sketchbook, I guess, it makes me feel peaceful and in touch and relaxed. What keeps me from doing it is just time crunches and self-doubt and worry. But what I'm looking to bring connection. I'm looking to feel connection and to engage in connection somehow among people of the earth. And that's the whole thing. I want peace on earth. I want everybody to accept each other. And that's it. And not make fun of each other because they make comics and that kind of stuff. Thanks very much.
I love how your piece is so focused on the images as well, like just the clear communicative images.
Yeah, this one is tough.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks, Chris. We'll go to Carol next. Hi, Carol.
Hi. So are we seeing this? My joyous rebellion is playing, and it makes me feel powerful. And my obstacles are I can't fold for the life of me, folding paper. And what I dream of is democracy, freedom, diversity, and safety. And this is the big reveal. Oh, what did I say? Oh, it's for my younger self. I can't, if someone could read that, I don't even know what I wrote. Or
For sharing joy, replenishing joy.
For pets and people everywhere, adults and children everywhere.
okay. Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome, Carol. Thank you.
So awesome. Thank you.
We'll go to Julia. Here we go.
So this was lots of fun, and I liked the questions a lot. So my rebellious joy is dancing. Dancing doesn't have to be pretty, and it makes me feel strong and fierce and fully in space. And then next page, what challenges do I have? There's not always enough space. And what dream do I have? I want everybody to be able to dance wherever, whenever they feel like it, however they feel like it. And then why would I do that? Because I want to get closer to, I like the idea of the general universal spirit. And that's my vision of the general universal spirit, which looks a lot like the earth on fire, which isn't totally separate. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you for sharing. I love that panel with the cramping. Feels so apt for the topic of that panel. Exactly that one.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Julia. We'll go to Catherine next. Here we go.
Okay, so this evolved quite a bit as I was making it. And actually, okay, I think it's let me turn off blur real quick, otherwise things will not show up properly. But basically at first I was thinking about sort of the power of like reading romance books and listening to lots of different types of music, like things that especially are kind of shamed when women really enjoy them. And also the feeling of enjoying a lot of different things at once, and how sometimes that can feel very like I can feel afraid of that not being serious. So at first I did my like it's very blurry because it's dark, but my story graph genres and like romance and poetry and sci-fi and fantasy and everything there. And then I did my Spotify day list and I just pulled it up and kind of made a mishmash and did bubblegum, pom pom, funky dealer, metallic radio. And then I am powered by the prism of perspectives. And there's like headphones and a book there. And then for what I, again, like feel afraid of and sort of put off by is, am I a jack of all trades but master of none, or am I far better still than a master of one? And so kind of back and forth of, feeling a little weird about that. And I didn't have writing on this one yet, but my goal is to continue to like grow those different areas and embrace them and embrace the different things that I love and that are important to me in obviously a rebellious way. And so I have like my brain and things growing out of it and watering can with time. There's the prism and then sun coming through it. And the sun is my energy that I'm investing in that commitment. And then finally, this is one where there's really only kind of just words on here and like little spaces for friendship bracelet beads that I'm starting. And this I really had to think about. I was made to love many things in a world that says stay small, stay serious. I had to fight, so I did not disappear. I stuck it out for the me of tomorrow. So my reason for rebellious joy today. Because I went through years of depression and OCD, anxiety, undiagnosed ADHD, all of the things. And I really stuck it out for like a decade to be like, hopefully tomorrow, like eventually I'm sticking it out so that eventually, it will get better. And now I'm very much being in the present and experiencing all the different types of joy today. And so I'll figure out what I want to draw here. But thank you. This gave me a lot to think about. It was really cool.
Thank you for sharing. That's so poetic. And I love Tom quoted it in the chat, but the prism of perspectives is such a beautiful line. And I think that the flip panel is also so imaginative. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Catherine. Yeah. We'll go to Hewitt next. Here we go.
Okay, yeah. So mine, I don't know if the lighting is good on here, but yeah, so I did been blasting hardcore recently. It really gets me going, and I just have a car doing donuts. And then panel 4 is I don't really know the scene. It's sort of my obstacle, kind of a poser. And a dream. I'd like to make art that captures the vibe. Sorry, I'm reading this backwards. And then ultimately why I do it is I like to better understand sort of my ugly side. And so there's sort of a me devil and a me angel sort of getting along.
Love it. Love it. Oh, that's such an awesome angle to it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Love it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Hewitt. And again, I'm going to put in the chat the many ways everybody can share, even though it's going to be a little tricky with this fold out, but I'm going to ask people to try and be creative. And we will go, I think I lost Bill in the graph here.
I'm right here.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Well, I raced ahead and didn't realize I wasn't completely following the instructions, but I did come up with a comic, and this is what I mentioned earlier, cat string wrestling with my cat. So here the meeting has started. The cat arrives. Let's see what's next. Cat and I look at each other. Where is that string? The cat says over there. So I pull out the string, lift it up, the cat's excited. Cat starts grabbing the string and tugging at it. The meeting moderator says, well, we are trying to have a meeting, not a cat show. So I say, okay, and I let go of the string. But my extreme off the scale ADD mind wanders. The cat is having problems too. So we look at each other and wondering, what do you think? Cat says, yep. And I pull out the string again. The cat's playing with it. And then for a minute, all the animal companions take over.
I
I had a lot of fun with this. Thank you.
love it. Thank you.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
I got a cat right here who wants to come on for you, Bill. I can't get her on the camera, but she is right here. All right, anyway, we'll go. Thanks, Bill. We'll go to Zoom user. See, find out who Zoom user is. There we go.
Oh, Anne. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Thanks for letting me share. Okay. This is surprisingly my joy. And this is kind of, it gives me serenity and a little bit of sanity to draw. It's very meditative. And what keeps me from doing it is self-worth and doubt, I suppose. Makes me feel, but this one is what I dream for. And then this has, I feel like this has growth and hope, is what I mean by this.
I love that. It's so clear and communicative, and your use of line is just it's so evocative while also being very efficient and simple.
Oh, thank you.
Really
Thank you.
beautiful.
Awesome. Thanks, Anne. Yeah,
All right. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you for
bet.
sharing.
Got Diwang Shizao next. Here we go. Replace. Hi.
Ashanti, amazing. This was so fun. As a comic and zine maker, I'm like, guys, we just have to fold paper. It'll like really change our lives. Like, trust me on this. So my first panel is joyful rebellion and self-expression looks like two things. Externally, wearing my cuntiest outfit out and about. And then B, taking silly selfies with my cat and sending them to the family WhatsApp. This is the selfie that oh my God, this is the selfie that I took this morning. And then these are my my mom in Chinese is like "好可爱," which just means super cute. My dad putting in cat emojis, and then my brother saying hee hee. And then to be alive and happy feels like nothing short of a miracle, no. This is this is when my friend G and I went to the Black Zine Fair. And then but it's not always safe to dress how you want. This is me in the mirror wearing my keffiyeh saying, will I get stopped by the cops by wearing this? This keffiyeh is so beautiful though. It's also not always safe to draw what you want. If I post this on Instagram, could I get stopped by customs and border agents? And yet, I have to believe a better world is possible. This originally wasn't going to be my head, but then I was like, wait, I'm low on like I have no time. And I was like, well, I am half bald, so so this should probably just be my head. And then I end it with this is still a work in progress, but it is an honor and a privilege to exist here with you. It is an honor and privilege to fight with you, and I'm happy to be here with you. And I think Catherine, as someone who's also depressed, I think it's easy for me to be like, man, I'm just by myself in my house, but this is an exercise where I'm like drawing little caricatures of everyone that I ever think about. So you have like my family members here, but you have friends up here. These are my neighbors down here. I've included new friends, old friends. Yeah, this was such a joy to make, and like thank you so much for leading this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing and for getting so into it. That it's your work in the zine is gorgeous, so beautiful. I love the way that you're approaching the reveal too, of like you have in the first third of the reveal, you have the beginning of the kind of the community montage, the little caricatures, but then you have in the fold out the big message. I'm happy to be here with you. I love that use of the reveal. Thank you so much for sharing. Lovely, lovely work.
I agree. Wonderful. And again, I'll post in the chat. Love to see people share. We'll go to Pam next. Here we go.
Okay, hi everybody. This was so awesome. It's my first time sharing. I'm all nervous, and I hope it's not too dark here. So, my go-to for rebellious joy and self-expression these days is playing in Procreate or with a pen on paper. And then I say over here, keep it loose, babe, because I get very tight. So, it's good for me to do it with pen, not to sketch it. So, it makes me feel free but also focused. So I can go into my own little world. So it does both things for me, which I think is magical. Okay, and then the obstacles I face feel huge. I have fear. I'm so clumsy, mean self. There's no time. And it says, you suck, Bustin. So that's my inner mean girl saying that. And they feel huge and they're all self-imposed. But I continue to feed my rebellious, joyful dream to bring stories to the world that lift spirits and encourage. Let my heart encourage your heart. And then, oh, wait, is that it? Yeah, right? Yeah, okay. The big reveal is that my rebellious joy is for my younger self and you.
Love
This
that.
was
So
so
beautiful.
fun. Thank you guys so much. And it's the first time I kept up and made a thing. So yay.
You
I'm
did.
so happy to be here.
Thank you so much for sharing, Pam. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the fluidity of your line and also the rotatability of it. So beautiful and just you really utilizing the space. Um, and thank you for your courage and vulnerability in sharing. It's beautiful.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pam. You got a lot of fans in the chat, so go check them out. We'll go to a crowd over here. Here we go. Let's see who's online.
Hi, everybody. What's your name?
Ruby.
So I'm going to
Mhm.
hold the art for Ruby.
Okay.
Ruby's going to explain.
That I like drawing pictures of animals in clothing. And then that picture is how it makes me feel. It makes me feel like I'm standing on a mountain with a cool breeze. The problem is that sometimes I don't really have a lot of ideas to do it, and when I draw them out, I just no, it's not a good idea. And my dream is to have cool design clothes that I design and a cool floating bicycle thing. And this is a picture. I didn't really hear what it was supposed to be about, so I just kind of drew a person in a flower dress and a person in a tree costume and a person with a dog.
I love it so much. Thank you so much for sharing, Ruby. I love your drawings.
Thank
Really
you.
amazing. Really amazing drawings.
Ruby's very, very good at this. And just real quick,
Oh,
so
another.
my joy is making radio shows and doing radio, and it makes me feel happy and excited and give me good ideas. What prevents me from being able to do it is that whole work-life balance, tension time. I want people to feel great about dancing and letting it out and get into the groove. I folded things wrong like everyone else. And so big reveal is for our state. We're from Vermont, and for the world to be able to broadcast all over the place. And that's a little Ani DeFranco in the bottom corner because she does it for the joy it brings. That's her kind of big quote there. So there you go.
Love it. Love it so much. Thank you guys for sharing.
Wonderful. And you've got a radio t-shirt on too.
I do,
Look at
yeah.
Oops. And we had our last I think we lost Christian. Christian wanted to go, but I don't see him anymore. So I guess we'll just go back to Ashanti. Oh no, there's Christian. Christian, you're ready if you want. You're our last.
Uh,
Let's see what you did.
so basically, So should I put this? Rules are rules. Get mad. Time. Rules are rules. Fuck that.
Are you smashing the rules there in that last panel?
Yeah.
Love it. Love that last panel, especially. That's super fun, and expressive, like
Yeah.
imagery and composition.
Agreed. Thanks, Christian. Okay, I'm going to spotlight Ashanti.
All right.
Yeah, all right, indeed. This was super fun. I think you really got some people, I want to say loosened up, but that's not right.
Revved up,
Freed up
energized.
yeah, freed up a little. I think everybody's just a little bit, happier um and what sharing we had, there's some and people loving each other in the chat. That's why we're here.
Love it.
That was really fantastic. Thanks. I had a blast too.
Thank you.
Um, Tell us more about the book you're doing, if you can say anything about it. And I'm going to put one last time in the chat where to share. Yeah, tell us. And I know you said you're going to try and finish it by the end of the year, so it's a ways away yet, but
Yeah, so I absolutely can share a little bit about the book. Before I do, I want to thank all of you so much for coming out. It's been amazing to see the work that everyone shared, and um, I hope that those of you who, might share on Instagram or social media later will tag me. I'm also on Blue Sky, more active on Blue Sky. But you can, if you're on there and you want to share on there, feel free to tag me. My username is the same. Um, I know the zine folding was a little bit of a multi-step process, so no worries. So those of you who folded different zines than the zine I folded, that is a-okay. I am so happy to see that folks had a good time. The book that I'm working on is called Crescent Petra. It is a kind of near future sci-fi about an undiagnosed autistic teenager who befriends a sapient android, a human-like android, and the two of them navigate what it means to be a person and the kind of the challenges of being a person and butting up against expectations of what it means, what living in society means and the expectations that other people put on them as they try to break free of that and rebel from that, on topic.
that's
Um,
that
yeah,
sounds
it'll be out.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It'll be out eventually.
Okay. Well, we're rooting for you. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute, give you a round of applause, and
Thank
everybody
you very
have,
much.
yay, there we go.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you
you.
so much. This was
Thank you
wonderful.
so
We really
much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
That was
Have a good
you.
night,
Great.
everybody.
Yeah.
See you
Yeah.
next week.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.